Welcome to dog breeding in Vietnam, where the number one goal is profit, while the dogs wait and hope that they too can be free one day.
Why did I first decide to buy a dog and not adopt? Truth be, probably because I've never heard or seen an adoption process for dogs. Back where I'm from, obviously people would either breed them and then sell them on, or they give them to close friends and family. But yeah, it was just, and it was also, without lying, it's probably the price of the dog compared to Vietnam than it is in England.
Yeah.
Here's some pictures. I said I was interested. The first time he told me, he said, okay, transfer the money and he'll send it on a grab. And I went, hey, no, I want to come look at the dog and see the home it was from. He said, okay, no problem. Went to his house, and to be fair, I think it was the mother that was there, the little sister was there. The home was actually quite clean, but it looked like it had just been freshly cleaned. I had actually only had Ruby 2 weeks. 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks actually, just under 2 weeks. Yeah, we took her home, kept her in because obviously what we thought she'd only had one vaccination. Like I said, he had the book, had the sticker in it, so I thought everything was prim and proper. Didn't feel the need to take it to a vet straight away. And then, yeah, within 2 weeks, my partner Lauren, she realised there was a little bit of blood in the poo on the mat. And then the poo started going really, really runny. And then they obviously went to the blood, and that's when we knew something was wrong. Took her down to the vets with the book and everything. They didn't test her for distemper because they thought she had her first jab. So they tested her, is it Parvo?
Yeah.
And Gaudia. And so yeah, they looked at her for that. Nothing changed. And then they said, we'll give her some medicine, take her home. I took her home, and then she started having seizures, where she'd go into a fit, start foaming up at the mouth, and then after she would run around into a dark place or a dark corner. It was almost like the light hurt her eyes, and then I'd have to cuddle her and then call her name. It's like she sometimes couldn't see while she was like running around, but she responded to the name. And then yeah, you'd cuddle her and then sort of bring her back in so like she's waking up again. And then one day she seized her too hard, and I saw it in her eyes that she'd gone blind. I rushed her straight down to the vets, and the distemper had gone, not just neurologically now, but it started going into her stomach and the rest of her body, because we wasn't sure because she was still eating so good and she was still playing so hard. But then in the end it just took too much, and I kept her in the vets overnight with some medicine, and she kept on seizure, and then it just wasn't fair on her. She was either going to die. I went back in the morning to see her, and it was basically, if she'd lost her eyesight I would have still kept her. It's not a problem for me. It was the fact that she was going to carry on having seizures, and at any point any seizure can kill anything, whether it be human or animal. So in the end I turned around and I thought, what's best for Ruby? What's best obviously for my girlfriend as well, obviously, because this was hurting her just as much. This was like our first dog together as a couple. And yeah, in the end I made the call to, me and Lauren, both made the joint decision of what would be fair for Ruby, and we had her put down. As I explained to you, obviously, and your mum many times before, it hurts. It does hurt. It doesn't matter how big, how hard you think you are. You're only human, and something like that, a little cute dog, done nothing to anyone. And for someone to say she had her jabs and when she didn't, that's just, you're asking for a dog to lose its life. Because if I would have rather this guy turned around and said, look, this is the dog, do you like it? Just to let you know, it hasn't had any vaccinations. I would have still got the same dog, but I would have gone straight down the vets with it. Would it have been too late? Have they already got distemper in that house, all the dogs in the cage? I hope not, because the amount of dogs I saw there that day, probably there was 8 in a cage with him, with Ruby, and there was another cage full of French bulldogs and pugs, that was it. So I hope there wasn't. But yeah, it's just a nasty thing for happening to anyone really. But at the end of the day, it's just what happens. You've got to get over it and move on with it. 100%. I didn't understand, and like I said, I wasn't in contact with the man saying, look, your dog's ill and all that during the time. But as soon as we knew it was distemper, I got hold of him straight away and told him, and he told me that I was lying. I showed him all the stuff from the vets, and he just said, look, this dog was weak, don't worry. And then he said, I'll send you one more. I said, I don't want one more. And he couldn't get that into his head. I think out here they think it's more of a numbers process. It's a money making. It's like selling sweets over the counter, but instead they're selling dogs. And yeah, if he was just honest, like I said, we could have done something, but he hadn't. But looking into the breeding program now, yeah, it's heavy stuff. It's something I've never seen before, and I've seen a lot of stuff.
This is Mekong. She was brought into Saigon Pet Clinic, where she was unable to walk due to her being so malnourished. She had severe skin problems and was covered in ticks and fleas. Some people when buying dogs don't understand that dogs like huskies must stay inside, as the climate in Vietnam is too hot. But because of this, they shed, which makes owners frustrated, and some end up throwing them to the streets, which is what happened to Mekong. But now, she is doing better than ever. Her fur has grown back and she is now ready for her forever home. Just like Mekong, Royce came in with severe skin conditions. However, after several treatments, he too was ready to find his forever home.
It was actually Lauren. It was my girlfriend Lauren. She actually got contacted by Dr. Nia, and she was in contact with him, started speaking. I think Dr. Nia put her in contact with Elizabeth at Horse for Paws. I wasn't going to get another dog. I didn't want another dog. Obviously, I think I was still hurting after losing Ruby. Obviously, everyone could say, oh, you only had her 2 weeks, but the amount of time I spent with her within them 2 weeks, because it was lockdown, it was, you know what I mean, she was part of the family. But I said, no, I'm not having another dog. I'm not doing this. Well, not another dog out here anyway. And then it was actually Lauren who turned around, and then I started looking into law supports myself. And then that's when I thought, all right, let's come down for have a little look about. And it was actually, I actually asked her mum if she needed any help with the dogs, because I actually want to learn more about the dogs and like how they are out here compared to home, if there is actually a massive difference, which I found out, to be fair, there isn't, apart from some of the stuff they might eat out here. But and the street dog situation is obviously a different kettle of fish as well. But yeah, no, I asked Elizabeth if she needed any help. She said, yeah, you any good with gates? I said no. But yeah, we come down and had a little look. And my Royce now, he wouldn't have, I didn't know what to expect when I come down to your house, to be honest with you. Down to Law Support, sorry. And like I said, it was just, I didn't know what I was looking for. I didn't know what I was doing there, to be fair. I think I wanted some closure. And it wasn't until, obviously, out of all the dogs we had, he had a skin condition. He didn't look the best. He had these little floppy ears, and I wouldn't have batted an eyelid at him if I'd seen him elsewhere. And he just come and sat on my foot. And then, I don't know, I think we just made a little connection there and then, and next thing you know, 4 months later, he's still here, but a lot bigger and a lot hungrier.
For me, I think breeding everywhere in the world not good, because you know that is so subjective. You want to do that. Long ago, breeding animal, they want to breed for army, for working, for for detecting something. But now, everyone want to look a dog, cat. They want a dog. They think that from breeder is better, but not true. You know, mixed animal, biologically they are better. They're stronger, and you know the person who only want to buy a dog, they think that the dog is good, but not always. Yeah. Sometimes they get a husky from other country, bring here, get a big, a very cute dog, like the Rottweiler, like a bear, but later they come a bear.
Yeah.
And the owner didn't expect that. Like and Chihuahua and Bulldog, I think that they have some, how would say, genetically
Yeah.
wrong, and that human made it. Like Chihuahua, I say human made it because they cannot give birth to baby non naturally.
Yeah.
Always have to do surgery, cesarean. And it's horrible. I'm a vet, I do that, but I don't like it. So I think breeding animals in the world is not good, particularly in Vietnam. And everywhere breeding animal is for what? For money,
Yeah.
profit on top. And you know what they do with animals after that? They sell them, advertise them, they dump them in the shop. They have the tick, flea and everything. That is simple one, up to the disorder of the spine and the eye and the brain and the ear and skin problem and everything they can have. And that's very sad. And then finally, bad luck. So who pay for that? The person who buy them. And they're not understanding how to care for animals. They love the husky just from the advertising only. They love the Labrador from advertising. They don't know about the hip dysplasia. They don't know about the skin problem. They don't know about the thick fur live in very hot country like Vietnam. They don't know how the Chihuahua have the eye problem. They don't know the Bulldog have the breath problem. Like that. Yeah. It's quite difficult. Yeah. So I think that in Vietnam it's getting worse because all from education. Now everyone can do. Everyone can say I'm a breeder. Everyone can say I'm a dog trainer. Everyone say like that is wrong. You know. Yeah. At least they have the rule to control that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I see, you may see many cases already. Mekong,
Yeah.
husky,
Yeah.
many husky, many Alaska
Yeah.
abandoned in Vietnam, and it took me and Elizabeth for months, years to heal them. And my dog is one example. You know the Fiona, horrible. They breed the dog and they didn't understand they give hormones to the dog. But the worst cases I see. Now everyone say cancer and throw the dog away because of there's a breast cancer, not because of hormone. They give to the dog to stimulate the dog for more baby.
Yeah.
And then and that is not cancer. And then I did all the surgery and also the uterus infection and everything. And now the dog is okay, suffer a lot. Now stay with me, no problem. And then I asked back, what did they do to the dog? They give a lot of hormone to make more baby, to sell. At the end, the mother suffer a lot. It becomes so bad, dumped on the street. So it's horrible, really. Yeah. Why you say we rescue animal, abandon animal? Why a husky? Why a Rottweiler? Why a cocker spaniel? Why a poodle? Why a pup? Why a bulldog? Why a chihuahua? Are they wild animals? No. They form a family, or they form a breeder who cannot sell animal, or they are sold to someone, and they didn't expect the dog grow so big, and they didn't expect that the dog have a lot of problems living in Vietnam with the weather like this. That is, and then they throw them on the street, and that we have to work on that, you know. So I think that we should select all the cases like that and show to people. They should know where are they from. They're born in Vietnam. Where are they from? From the breeder. Who are the breeder? And a lot of dog, Labrador, Golden Retriever. I have seen a lot of hip dysplasia. They cannot walk. Dog 30, 40 kg cannot walk. And it's so bad, very miserable, really. Yeah. So the worst one is Fiona, is my dog, and I adopt it now. The second one is just last week I saw some dog from Hanoi sent here, and I saw hip dysplasia. Just very young. I did the X-ray. I see hip dysplasia. The dog will live another 8 years with limping, with pain. That's very sad. And the owner very angry. He called the breeder. The breeder said, "Sorry, I didn't know." Like that. And also I see that Mekong is from Mekong Delta. That's the name, like that. And I think they breed them there. Yeah. They sold them, 2 of them. We rescue one, took here, and I don't know. Another one is now we're looking for a big dog, Alaska.
Oh, okay.
So huge. So I don't think anyone can adopt it here really.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone loves them, but they can adopt. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you adopt a dog, okay, it means you are happy. When you saving an animal and you having community, you find a home for them. But when you buying a dog, okay, in Vietnam, you also save an animal, but no, you support them to make more animals on the street. I can see that.